What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today, well, we have a brand new set of events, and what that now tells us is we know exactly, or at least we should know exactly, what the Thanksgiving event has in store from us, and it's looking like is going to be Prophet Orbs, which might mean it's one of the better Prophet Orb events we've seen in quite a while. I'll just show you guys what we're talking about real quick here. We're going to jump into the game and talk about it right here in the event preview. You'll notice next week we have Imp's Adventure, Carnival, and Shelter. This week, of course, we have Sky Labyrinth, Mysterious Event, and Wishing Fountain, which means Prophet Orb is all that's left. So what do you guys need to do to prepare, and what can we expect from the Thanksgiving event? Well, one thing we can take a look at is the previous year's events, and we can kind of extrapolate and figure out what we're going to get based on that. Now, remember that these events don't line up perfectly. Last year, as you'll see right here, it was a Wishing Fountain event, but again, the rewards should be very similar for using Prophet Orbs. So if we take a look here, of course, they gave you the kind of event currency in the actual loops of Sky Labyrinth, which we should have what? Fantasy Factory. So we should have Prophet Orbs and Fantasy Factory. My guess is we'll get some sort of currency based on the number of stars and Aurora stars we have for Fantasy Factory. If you saved a jigsaw puzzle, that might actually end up being really, really good. You can see here it was Wishing Fountain loop. So again, I would imagine we're going to see something very similar, but for Prophet Orbs. So keep that in mind. Wishing Fountain, you can do 9 loops. Prophet Orbs, you can do 8 loops. That might be a difference, but you probably want to have 640 Prophet Orbs just in case you have to completely max it out to not have any RNG. Value package, of course, had currency in it as well. We don't know if that's going to be something they have in this one. And then you can kind of see here the tiers of rewards. If I remember correctly, free-to-play could get to the 330 mark in the 2022 event. In 2023, this is going to probably look a little different, but at the same time similar. So most likely this is going to have an option between Sublimation and Core of Transcendence, I would imagine, or sorry, Core of Origin, I would imagine. And it should be pretty easily obtainable for a free-to-play account. What's going to change down here is you're going to see more Sublimation and Cores of Origin here. And then once you get down to the lower tiers, that's when you're going to be able to start seeing the Scattered Spirit Vein and the Aurora Gems. You never know, since it's Thanksgiving, there's probably also going to be a Treasure Train event because, well, every big event we've had... Actually, I don't know. Do you think we're going to have a Treasure Train for Thanksgiving or Black Friday? Or both. I don't know. We could see a ton of extra Treasure Train tickets coming our way, I'd imagine. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But this is going to be the next step for those of us that are waiting for more Scattered Spirit Vein and stuff to go all in on an event. Now, what I'm hoping is, if you guys remember this past week's event, it was like one of the first times, really easy times, that a free-to-play player was like guaranteed to get either Scattered Spirit Vein or Aurora Gems. I'm hoping the Thanksgiving event does something very, very similar. There was also a special, like when you actually use these crops, like you water different crops to get different types of currency, and then in this event you kind of went through and you made different meals, and based on the orders that you made, you would get some rewards. So you'd see down here, I don't think there's really anything great. I think the big takeaway was like you could get, I think Star Spawn cores was actually available. This is back when Star Spawn cores were still a little bit less available to everybody. So this is looking pretty good. There were some pickaxes, so I imagine there's going to be some lollipops in here if they have a similar event. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a very similar event this time around as well. The special orders also gave you different reward combinations, as you saw here. Again, the big pull, I feel like, were the Star Spawn materials. I do remember the pies were the ones that were much harder to make and were like more pay to win, and I think even the milkshakes were too. I think these 3 resources were like the easy ones, and then these were like the more difficult ones to acquire. But you see there were a ton of like Cloud Island materials, things like that. Just expect a little bit better version of rewards this time because the game is advanced a year. There's more power systems, therefore they give away stuff a lot cheaper than they used to. There's also the Gnome's Treasure. I believe this was one that you just like cash gems in for, and it gave you some of the water pails, but then every time you did it, you got some resources. This is pretty standard to what we've seen in the past few months even, where you can get some Cloud Island materials, except I'd imagine what we'll see on here is also like the essence sublimation for the 4 different sublimations, spiritual essence, things like that are now more given out, because that's one thing most of these events do now is they give us tons of sublimation. You don't only have to get sublimation from chests anymore, which is actually pretty cool. And then of course there was a package with a skin. I don't imagine we're gonna see a new skin unless it's for like an older Transcendence hero, because what we should be getting the next week at Black Friday is a new regular hero, either light or dark, something like that. So I don't know exactly what that's going to turn out like, and it was a chest event, so yeah. We have pretty much, I mean, we've had profitable events with the lollipops pretty standard recently. And usually it was with the Summer Melody chest event, which hopefully we have the Summer Melody as well, because that's been paired with these 2 events for a long time, which might mean just additional rewards. And that would be really, really cool. Also going to say is we have a lot of events coming up. We talked about this on the news video yesterday, talking specifically about Black Friday. Gems, make sure you are pooling up your gems. If I had any input this week, I would probably just grab the 2 lower ones, because 2,000 gems is recouped very quickly. Not really sure this is worthwhile down the bottom anymore in general. It used to be, because the guild coins were always useful, but we finished our guild tech, and this is technically only like 3 or 4 treasure train tickets for the guild, so it's not like anything game breaking. Glorious relics aren't as impactful nowadays, because getting artifacts is just a lot easier in general. It is nice though that you can still get your pay to win artifacts and you can get your flags. It has not been updated with the mirror just yet, so again, keep that in mind. I need to make sure I keep purchasing these guys all the time, because we need a ton of them. So definitely save it up. Even in Sky Labyrinth, I would actually consider not even buying the extra pickaxes this week if you're kind of borderline on how many gems you have. And beyond that, of course, you're going to want to save Prophet Orbs. Like I said, I think we have, what, 668. That's perfect. We need 640 to guaranteed an 8 times loop on this event. It doesn't really matter who the hero is or any of that nonsense. It's just you need the resources in order to get the special event currency. We still don't have any real use for Prophet's Blessings. I wish they would make some side event in the Prophet Orb event for that, but I just don't think it is. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Again, just save your gems, save your Prophet Orbs. We got a lot of big events coming up for Heroic Scrolls as well. So again, keep pooling these scrolls up. You're going to want to have at least like 700 and 900 at a bare minimum at each one of these events. Some of them are better. Other ones, like last event, you needed the full 2,000 to guarantee stuff. You could high roll, but yeah, that is what we are at, right, or where we're at right now. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time. Save your gems.